The following operator training video on the Hobart H600 and L800 mixers is a supplement to the instruction manual that came with your Hobart mixer. If you have any questions concerning operation, please consult your manual. Your Hobart H600 and L800 mixers are constructed and designed to give long, satisfactory service provided they are properly used and maintained. This training video will cover the controls of the mixer, its operation, cleaning, and maintenance. Warning: moving beater in bowl. Keep hands, clothing, and utensils out while in operation. Do not use without interlocked guard. Every H600 and L800 is equipped with either an electromechanical timer control or a programmable timer controller. The bowl guard must be in position or the mixer will not operate. If the bowl support is not all the way up, the mixer will not operate unless the start button is held in. If the mixer has an electromechanical timer control, it will also have a timer used in conjunction with the start button for timed mixing operations and will stop the mixer when the preset time has elapsed. If the mixer has a programmable timer controller, it will consist of the start and stop buttons, which control mixing operation, the timer control display, which displays mixing times, the P1 key, which contains 4 sequential preset times, the P2 key, which contains 4 additional sequential preset times, the knob, which changes the time as indicated by the display, the save button, which replaces the preset with the indicated time, and the clear button, which returns to idle from the programming function. For continuous mixing, the start and stop buttons control mixing operation. Begin from the idle display. Press start to begin mixing. The MC indicator will be lit, and the total mixing time will be indicated in minutes and seconds. Press stop when mixing is done. The MC indicator light goes off, and the idle display returns. To use the dial timer to set the mixing time, begin from the idle display. Turn the knob to set the mixing time. The MC indicator will be lit. Start and stop buttons control mixing operations. Press start to begin mixing. The timer will count down from the set time to 0. If stop is pressed, both mixing and timer countdown will be interrupted. After pressing stop, press start to resume both mixing and timer countdown, or press clear to return to the idle display. When the timer reaches 0, the mixer stops and the MC indicator light goes off. A beep tone sounds for 2 seconds and the idle display returns. Each preset key has 4 time settings. The indicator above the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and the P1 or P2 indicator light identify which preset time is being displayed. The chart in the instructions manual shows the default settings. The dial timer knob can be used to adjust the mixing time if the knob is turned prior to pressing start. Beginning from the idle display, press P1 or P2 to display the number 1 preset mixing time. Pressing P1 or P2 again will display the next preset time, etc. The dial timer can then be used to adjust the time. Start and stop buttons control mixing operations. Press start to begin mixing. The timer will count down from the set time to 0. If stop is pressed, both the mixing and timer countdown will be interrupted. After pressing stop, press start to resume both mixing and timer countdown, or press clear to return to the idle display. When the mixer is stopped, you may perform any appropriate task, such as the following: add ingredients, change speed, reset the timer, continue mixing, or unload. When the timer reaches 0, the mixer stops A beep tone sounds for 2 seconds, and the next preset mixing time displays. When the last preset time reaches 0, the P1 or P2 indicator goes off, and the idle display returns. The timer reverts to the factory program preset times after any power interruption. To revise the preset mixing times contained in P1 or P2, begin from the idle display, press P1 or P2 to display the number 1 preset mixing time. Pressing P1 or P2 again will display the next preset time, and so on. Turn the knob to change the time for the indicated preset. Press Save to retain the revised time and move to the next preset time. Repeat for each preset time. Pressing Clear will retain the save times and return to the idle display. The timer reverts to the factory program preset times after any power interruption. The gear shift lever is used to change speeds. Always stop the mixer before changing speeds. To change speeds, push the stop button, move the gear shift lever to the desired speed, and restart the mixer by pushing the start button. Note, if you do not stop the mixer to change speeds, it will automatically shut off and you will have to restart it after changing speeds. The standard bowl lift uses a hand wheel to raise and lower the bowl. Turn the hand wheel clockwise to raise the bowl or counterclockwise to lower it. Mixers equipped with a hand wheel bowl lift must be turned off to lower the bowl. Caution, before lowering the bowl onto a bowl truck, always unlock both bowl clamps. If your mixer is equipped with the power bowl lift, to raise the bowl and bowl support, move the switch lever clockwise to the raise position. To lower the bowl and bowl support, move the switch lever counterclockwise to the lower position. An overload slip clutch will ratchet at the top and bottom stop positions to signal the end of the travel and protect the operating mechanism. In case of power failure, the bowl may be raised or lowered manually. Remove the apron, which is secured by 4 thumb screws, and use a 1-inch open-end wrench to turn the lift screw in the desired direction. This section explains the operation of the mixer and how to install bowls, agitators, and attachments. A separate use and applications handbook is provided with the mixer and contains information on mixing procedures and outlines specific uses of agitators, attachments, and accessories. New mixer bowls and agitators, beaters, whips, and dough arms should be thoroughly washed with hot water and a mild soap solution, rinsed with either a mild soda or vinegar solution, and thoroughly rinsed with clear water before being used. This cleaning procedure should also be followed for bowls and agitators before whipping egg whites or whole eggs. The bowl must be installed before the agitator. To install the bowl, fully lower the bowl support. Position the bowl so the alignment bracket on the back of the bowl is under the retainer on the bowl support, and the alignment pins on the front of the bowl support fit in the holes in the bowl. Lock the bowl in place by rotating the bowl clamps over the ears of the bowl. If a bowl adapter is required, install it on the bowl support as you would the bowl, and then install the bowl on the adapter. For optimum performance and recipe consistency, use only genuine Hobart accessories with Hobart mixers. To install an agitator, the bowl must be installed and fully lowered. Place the agitator in the bowl, push it up on the agitator shaft, and turn it clockwise to seat the shaft pin in the slot of the agitator shaft. To raise the bowl while the agitator is mixing the product, when required by recipe or when using the bowl scraper attachment, load ingredients, close the wire cage assembly, select low speed. To begin the mixing, press and hold the start button, then raise the bowl. The wire cage assembly can be rotated out of the way to add ingredients or to access the bowl and agitator. Note how the grooves on the nylon retainer shoes allow the wire cage to ride around the circular ridge of the planetary drip cup. To open the wire cage assembly, rotate it to your left. To close the wire cage assembly, rotate it to your right until it stops in the front center position. Note, the wire cage assembly must be returned to the front center position for the mixer to operate. Lower the bowl, remove the accessory and bowl. While holding the wire cage securely with both hands, rotate it to your left until the front center retainer shoe reaches the gap in the circular ridge on the planetary drip cup. Lower the front of the wire cage and move the wire cage assembly slightly to the rear so the rear retainer shoes clear the ridge of the drip cup. The wire cage assembly can now be removed. Wash the wire cage assembly in a sink. Rinse with clear water and dry with a clean cloth. The stainless steel splash guard can be wiped off and or washed with a cloth or sponge using warm soapy water. Rinse with clear water and dry with a clean cloth. To reinstall the wire cage assembly, position the ring of the wire cage assembly so the front center retainer shoe is lined up with the gap in the circular ridge on the planetary drip cup. Position the groove so the rear retainer shoes straddle the circular ridge on the planetary drip cup. Lift the front of the wire cage assembly so the front center retainer shoe passes up through the gap in the circular ridge on the planetary drip cup. Rotate the wire cage assembly to your right until all three retainer shoes straddle the ridge on the drip cup in the three opposed locations. Rotate the wire cage out of the way to install or remove the agitator and bowl or to add ingredients. Return the wire cage to its front center position to operate the mixer. The attachment hub should not be used while mixing. To install an attachment, loosen the attachment hub thumb screw and remove the plug. Insert the attachment into the attachment hub, making certain that the square shank of the attachment is in the square driver of the mixer. Secure the attachment by tightening the thumb screw. Move the gear shift lever to the desired speed. With the bowl support all the way up and the wire cage in the front center position, start the mixer to operate the attachment. The meat and food chopper attachment should be operated in second or third speed. If material in the cylinder stalls the mixer, push the stop button at once. Do not attempt to restart the mixer in a lower speed. Remove the adjusting ring, knife, plate, and worm, and clear any obstruction. This attachment must not be used to chop breadcrumbs. Mixer speeds are used as follows. Speed 1 or low is for heavy mixtures such as pizza dough, heavy batters, and potatoes. Speed 2 or medium low is used for mixing cake batters, mashed potatoes, and developing bread dough. Speed 3 or medium high is for incorporating air into light batches as well as finishing whipped items. Speed 4 or high is used for maximum and accelerated air incorporation into light batches. A mixer bowl scraper attachment, when ordered, is provided with a separate instruction manual covering its installation, operation, use, and care. Warning: disconnect electrical power supply and place a tag at the disconnect switch indicating that you are working on the circuit before beginning any cleaning procedure. A flat scraper and brush are furnished to aid in cleaning bowls and agitators. The mixer should be thoroughly cleaned daily. Do not use a hose to clean the mixer. It should be washed with a clean, damp cloth. The base allows ample room for cleaning under the mixer. The drip cup splash guard, which is secured by 3 screws, should be removed periodically and wiped clean. The apron may be removed by loosening the thumb screws. Behind this apron is an access cover which may be removed for cleaning. Cleaning of the bowl guard, including both the wire cage assembly and splash guard, was demonstrated during the operation section of this program. It may also be referred to on page 11 of the operator's manual. Warning: disconnect the electrical power supply and place a tag at the disconnect switch indicating that you are working on the circuit before beginning any maintenance procedure. The planetary oil should be checked periodically. To check, disconnect the electrical power supply and remove the drip cup splash guard, which is secured by 3 screws. Remove the fill plug. Oil should be even with the bottom of the fill plug hole. If it is not, slowly add the recommended planetary lubricant until it is. Replace the fill plug and the drip cup splash guard. A drain plug is located on the bottom of the planetary. Should draining become necessary, remove the drip cup splash guard and place a suitable catch pan under the drain plug. Remove the drain plug, allow the oil to completely drain, and replace the drain plug. Remove the fill plug and pour in 6 fluid ounces of the recommended planetary lubricant. Replace the fill plug and drip cup splash guard. Contact your local Hobart service office for the recommended planetary lubricant. Occasionally, the planetary seal may become dry and begin to squeak. To correct this, work a little lubrication under the lip of the seal. The transmission oil should be even with the line on the oil level gauge when the motor is not running. If the oil falls below this line, disconnect the electrical power supply and remove the top cover, which is secured by 2 screws. Remove the transmission fill plug and add a small amount of the recommended transmission oil until it returns to the proper level. Do not overfill the transmission as leakage may result. Contact your local Hobart service office for the recommended transmission oil. On units with a manual bowl lift, the hand wheel gearing should be lubricated periodically. To do this, disconnect the electrical power supply and remove the top cover, which is secured by 2 screws. Wipe a coat of Lubriplate 630AA on the gear teeth and replace the top cover. The agitator clearance should be checked with each bowl change. The agitator must not touch the bowl, and the maximum clearance between the bottom of the bowl and the B flat beater is 1/8 inch. The maximum clearance between the bottom of the bowl and the E or ED dough arm is 5/16 of an inch. Install a bowl and agitator. If the bowl and beater come into contact before the bowl support reaches its stop, adjust the stop screw upwards using the following procedure. To measure the clearance, pour enough flour in the bowl to cover the bottom of the bowl where the beater travels. With the bowl fully raised, briefly run the mixer in speed 1. Turn off the mixer, disconnect the electrical power supply, and measure the depth of flour where the beater has traced a path. This measurement should be taken at several points around the bowl to assure accuracy. To adjust the bowl agitator clearance, remove the apron, which is secured by 4 thumb screws. Loosen the bottom locking nut and turn the stop screw counterclockwise to increase the clearance or clockwise to decrease the clearance. Tighten the locking nut while holding the stop screw. Caution, make sure the switch button on the bowl height sensing switch is never below the bottom of the nylon actuator. When the bowl is fully raised, the switch button on the bowl height sensing switch should be 1/8 inch above the bottom of the nylon actuator. If necessary, adjust the locking nuts above and below the nylon actuator to move it up or down. After the adjustments are made, replace the apron, reconnect the electrical power supply, and carefully operate the bowl lift several times to check the adjustment. The height of the bowl clamp is controlled by a spring washer and lock nut. which are located on the bottom of the bowl support. Turning the lock nut clockwise will loosen the clamp. Counterclockwise will tighten it. If repeated adjustments are necessary, additional service is indicated. Contact your local Hobart service office. This concludes operator training for the H600 and L800 mixers. For long-term performance and durability, refer to your Hobart mixer capacity chart for recommended maximum recipe capacity with your Hobart mixer. To obtain service and parts information concerning these mixers, contact your local Hobart service office.